Yes. Big up Wagwan, why pre, where you deal with, where you depan, up top, blessings. You don't know how it go. Now they are back again with another one. This time, we're here to preview the Champions League fixture, RB Leipzig versus Manchester City. I have some early comments. So I have some early score predictions in here as well from MCFR TV. Big up to you and Ethan FPL. Thank you guys for being here super early before the stream even start. Massive respect to both of you guys. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, do continue to like the stream. And I also do want to thank you guys because I love how the likes have been looking on the previous videos as well. Those have been going good. So I do want to give you guys who are consistently liking the videos a lot of respect. I'm very grateful. And also, if you guys are new and you're watching, please consider subscribing, come by more often, and join the conversation in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. You don't know how that go. MCFR here again saying big up 100%. You know how it is. But yeah, you guys know the streams recently have been hour, 30 minutes, that type of length. I want to keep this one relatively short. But to start off, I do want to talk previously the games that we played against RB Leipzig. We aren't new to these opponents, as you guys might know, because we've gotten over the last couple of years, we've gotten them quite a lot, if not in the group stage. Then you guys will remember last season where we had them in the round of 16 in the Champions League last season. The actual last time we played them, the result was 7-0, and Haaland got his 5 goals in that game, joined a loose exclusive group, including Lionel Messi as one of the only players to score 5 goals in a Champions League fixture. Could have gotten 6, but Pep said he wanted to keep him hungry, and he got removed from the game early. Um, Everything was clicking on that particular day. Pep decided to let Haaland loose, and we got to see what he was really about. And Leipzig was thoroughly defeated on the day, with all due respect to them, of course. But in the away leg of that tie, which happened first, we were playing on their ground, which we are playing on their ground as Wednesday, I should say. So I want to put more of the focus on that first leg rather than the 7-0, because we will be playing in the Red Bull Stadium. The result for that game was 1-1, and we did settle for a draw on that day. I think there is a case that we could argue for 2-1. I don't know if you guys remember, but at the end of the game, Rodri had a header, and there was a blatant handball from the Leipzig player in the box. It was not checked. It was the last play of the game. And as I go sometime, I can't really too focus on that part of the result. We were fine with the draw. It's kind of what we set out for on the day. So it's not too big of a deal, and we did do our business in the second leg anyway. So if it had come back that it cost us the tie, then that would have been a big, massive talking point. But thankfully, it didn't come down to that. So we don't have to look at that too much. So that's neither here nor there. But in that game at the Red Bull Arena, I don't know if I would call it a game of two halves, but in the first half, we were the ones with the majority of possession. We were the ones with the majority of the chances and the better chances as well. Let me pause right there because I did want to mention this at the start of the stream, and I forgot to start off with this. But a legend, Francis Lee, has left us. I really do hope that he is in a better place and he's sleeping peacefully. RIP to our legend, Francis Lee. And Alec Johnson come here to share his thoughts and MCFR as well. But yeah, it's quite the sad news. I really didn't expect to see that today, but yeah, that's how life goes sometimes. But yeah, first half of the RB Leipzig game, I think we dominated in terms of the chances that we were able to create. In terms of the entire game, I get the feeling that we look at the first leg against Real Madrid, we look at the second leg against Bayern Munich, and the first leg against RB Leipzig kind of followed that same model in which it's like Pep told them, don't go too much forward and allow Leipzig the space to come back on the break and hurt us. And if it did become an end-to-end game, especially in that first half, you could see that favoring Leipzig more than us because they were in front of all of their home fans. But we got our first goal of that game through Riyad Mahrez with a brilliant finish from him. I remember Leipzig trying to play out from the back. I don't remember what player it was, but he passed the ball into well, he was trying to pass the ball into a teammate. He wasn't really paying attention, and Grealish capitalized on that opportunity, played through a ball for Mahrez. Gundogan helped it through, so Gundogan got the assist on that particular play. And we know how clinical Riyad Mahrez is in those positions, and we know that the Champions League is Riyad Mahrez competition as well. So he was not missing from there, puts it into the corner, and we went into the second half 1-0 up. On the other hand, Leipzig didn't really have their first shot at the game until the end of the first half. So that can tell you how much control we had in the game and how well we were defending as well. In the second half, though, it was Leipzig who actually had the better quality chances, in my opinion. They had a 1v1 with Ederson that they didn't really capitalize on. Very poor finish from their right back, I think it was, or maybe it was a right midfielder. But yeah, he really should have put that away, and that would have made it a really challenging game for us right there. Um, Ederson had some good moments in the game as well. Don't forget that. I remember, I think it was Soboslai who, no, it was Andre Silva, their striker, who went 1v1 with Akanji, got the better of him, tried to chip it over Ederson. Ederson made a great save on that particular play. Soboslai had his long range effort, looked like he was going in the top corner. Ederson handled that really well too. And I think Ederson's performance in that game was a bit covered up by Vardial's goal because that one goal that they had in the game to equalize, Ederson's position on that was questionable. It looked to me like he misjudged the flight of the ball. He probably thought that it was coming a bit lower and he could come out and claim it, but it kind of just went over his head and it made it very easy for Vardial to, once he got over Ruben Diaz, he could just head it into the back of the net. And it was a bit unfortunate to concede like that. And we were on top in the first half. And after the accumulation of pressure from Leipzig in the second half, it's not the type of goal that we want to concede. That's just pretty much what I would say about that. But we had a little bit of chances after that as well. Jack Grealish laid a pass into Gundogan. Gundogan, I think he tried to put it into the corner. The keeper made the save. I don't think he had enough bend on it. Just small margins like that that I think on other days you probably could have put those away and it would have been a completely different scoreline. But yeah, it was an exciting game, nonetheless, to say the least. And yeah, that penalty shot was probably the only other thing of note in terms of chances in that game. Now, this Leipzig team that will play on Wednesday looks a little bit different compared to how they would set up last season because they did sell a fair few key players. They sold Vardial to us. They sold Nkunku to Chelsea. They sold Zoboslai to Liverpool. Those are the most notable exits. And the players that they brought in as replacements, you could look at that as a downgrade considering the inexperience of these new players. And when you look at the quality of the players that they did leave out, these new players do still have to come in and prove themselves. So yeah, yeah, to say the least, my prediction will not be a 1-1 draw, if you get what I'm trying to say there. But before we get into another game that I watched, Leipzig versus Bayern Munich, we can talk a little bit about them, and then we can get into the players from RB Leipzig and from Manchester City that I want to look at and who I think will be the key players to watch and probably give both teams their best chance in the game. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section. A lot of comments in here, but hold on, I'm gonna get to all of them or as much of them as possible. MCFR says it would have got to 10 if not for Pep. Hey, I kind of like the keep Haaland hungry part because look at the end of the season that he had. He went on to break the Premier League goal scoring record, which we know that he would have done that by that point in the Leipzig game based on him continuing the form that he was already on. But yeah, we ended up with that treble. So I'm not going to say, hey Pep, we should have gotten 10 there. But I definitely get your point. He definitely thinks that we should play Rodri. He's in the thumbnail, he's in the title, and we will definitely be talking about him very, very soon. But yeah, I hear you. I think we really should be playing Roger in this game, and I'll tell you guys why I believe that. Alec Johnson coming in with his score prediction, and he says, I can see a City win 3-1. I'll give you guys my score prediction at the end. You know how I always do. But 3-1, I'll take that. I'll take any win, really, but I really want that performance in this game. Something to really put some fear into Arsenal fans' hearts after the game, you know? Um, yeah, I remember you mentioning this before, Ethan. I'm really not sure why that is. But Alec did say that he doesn't remember blocking you. In case you think that's what happened, he said he doesn't remember that happening. So I'm sure whatever happened, it is a just a misunderstanding or a mistake. But how to fix it, I'm really not sure what to say. MCFR says if we draw here, which is likely, and then the very tricky Arsenal game, it could be 4 games without a win. That is why I really do want a good performance in this game. I want a good result as well, but I want at least a quality performance because last game against Wolves, we didn't get a good result and we didn't get a good performance. So I at least want to see a much improved performance. So we have that to take into the Arsenal game. But yeah, it would be it could be very poor form going into that international break. And we know how we are after international breaks as well in terms of getting the cohesiveness back into the team. And we'd have that entire 2 week period to think about the form that we've been on. You know how that can get into City fans' heads sometimes. I might be a victim of that a bit, where you're looking at worrying that this type of form might continue. And right after the international break, we have Brighton. So just imagine. But yeah, Ethan asks, why is slow mode on? So what happened in the last stream was that there were messages coming in too fast. Like someone sent in maybe 6, 7 messages in the space of like 4 or 5 seconds that popped up on my screen. So they got timed out for spamming. And then there was a whole debate about this isn't spamming, they weren't being rude, all of that. So I'll lessen the slow mo to like 5, 10 seconds. This is just a trial. I put it at 15 seconds just to slow down the volume of messages and how fast they're coming in. And this is just a trial run. We'll definitely fine tune it as we go on. Um, Alec Johnson says Haaland due goals. Well, you guys know, and Haaland doesn't keep it as a secret. This is his favorite competition. He loves the Champions League, and I do think that he'll want to get up and show us a really good and demanding performance on Wednesday. So, and this is an opponent that he's not shy from scoring against either. You know, he played in the Bundesliga and he is familiar with this opponent. So, I am expecting some Haaland goals. Then again, when am I not expecting Haaland goals is really the better question. Alec Johnson also says, I'd like to see Rico Lewis in Leipzig game. He's very good. I like Rico Lewis as a player. He's one of those kind of like Oscar Bob. Every time I've seen him, he's been impressive. So, yeah, I do hope that he gets an opportunity, but I personally don't expect Rico Lewis to start. That's what I would say about that. MCFR says, Alec, don't think he's ready after that Newcastle game. That's also a debate to be had. Um, I do think that there's a chance he'll feature off the bench. Who was it that he scored his Champions League goal against? Was it Leipzig in the group stage? Maybe. Um, but yeah, if anyone remember who Rico Lewis scored his Champions League goal against, let me know in the comment section. Oh yes, I forgot about this. I also want to go tune into this game as well and see what they're going on with. I predicted a 0-0 draw for this game, and I hope it happens. I really do hope it happens. And yeah, this is for you, Ethan. This is what Alec was saying. This is for you, Ethan. And he says, "I am not VAR, mate." That's that's funny. The Blue Shark, big up to you. Thanks for being here as usual. And he says, that Ethan can't be blocked because I can see his messages. Not blocked from the channel, but he can't see Alec Johnson's messages, and I don't think Alec can see Ethan's messages either. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And Scarlett clearing up that misunderstanding as well. It's Alec Blue Shark. It's it's Alec regarding the blocking situation. Big up to Charlotte for being here again as well. Sevilla, yes, that's who it was. Sevilla, yeah, yeah. And yo, again, how many times have we played Seville in the like the past 3 years? Kind of like Leipzig, we just keep seem to meet up with this particular opponent. So yeah, it's very weird. And Alec here confirming that he also can't see Ethan's messages. Hey, I don't know, man. YouTube sometime have a mind of its own, I guess. But let me tell you guys what I thought in regards to the Leipzig Bayern game, because this could be a very telling game in terms of what we can expect from Leipzig on Wednesday. This is also the most recent game that they've played in preparation to playing against us. Um, I wasn't paying full attention to this game, keep in mind, because at the same time, Liverpool Spurs was on, and you guys know what type of spectacle that match was. So yeah, I was only keeping like an eye on Leipzig versus Bayern Munich, and I thought it was a cracking game nonetheless. Leipzig took a lot of people by surprise, including me, by not only taking the lead in the game, but by the end of the first half they were 2-0 up. And yes, they were the home team, but I do think that was surprising because they caused Bayern a lot of trouble, and not to mention they also had a couple of other opportunities. Maybe you could say those were half chances, but still, there were chances that they could have and didn't manage to capitalize on. So they were very lively in the game. They were creating chances, and they took two of them. And into the second half, they got themselves up. Well deserved lead, you could say. Bayern Munich were poor in that first half, from what I could see. And Leipzig were a bit unfortunate for giving a penalty away. Bayern Munich had a free kick. The Leipzig player in the wall jumped and it hit his elbow and his arm was up. So it was judged to be a handball, and Kane converted that penalty to make it 2-1. And there was a moment of brilliance from Musiala and Sane on the counter attack that pulled the game back to where it could end at 2-2 for a Bayern Munich point late in the day. Now, the players that I want to speak on in regards to Leipzig and how Leipzig have been set up, I think their formation is kind of like a fluid 4-2-2-2. So they I expect them to start with two strikers, and the two strikers I expect to see them go with are Openda and Benjamin Sesko. Now, Benjamin Sesko previously at RB Leipzig, he's a very clinical player. I think he was the one that was brought in to replace Erling Haaland after he left the Bayern Munich. And then now he left from Salzburg to go into RB Leipzig. And he's been good so far this season. I think after 8 games, he's gotten 5 goals across all competitions. So he's showing that clinical form. He's not the type of player that you want to see get a volume of chances, because he'll probably bag one or two of those chances, and we could do without him turning up against us in front of their home fans. As well as Openda, he's the one who opened the scoring as well as assisted the goals against Bayern Munich in their last game. And from what I can tell, this player is very quick, very, very fast. So he'll probably be one to cause us a lot of trouble as well. And I think we definitely need to be very switched on and patterned in defense. It will be very interesting to see what Pep goes with in terms of a back four to deal with how they like to attack and nullify whatever they want to come at us with. And finally, the third player from RB Leipzig that I want to speak about is Xavi Simons. Now, some of you guys might know that I'm a big fan of Xavi Simons. I think he'll go on to be an amazing player. He's really good technically. I love seeing him on the ball, manipulating and creating chances. I often see 2, 3 players surround this kid and he somehow gets himself out of danger. Very elusive, kind of in the mold of a Musiala. I'm not trying to compare him to Musiala in terms of ability and skills, but in terms of like skill set and what they want to do with the ball, I think they are very comparable players. So he's another very dangerous player that we have to keep an eye on. And I think he'll be a very big creative outlet for RB Leipzig as well. And because of how he plays, I think he's going to be very big in terms of motivating the home support in the Red Bull Arena as well. So we have to keep an eye on that. And hopefully we can nullify this player and um, limit the amount of chances he's able to create. Yeah. So for Manchester City, first player I want to speak on is Rodri. So Rodri, I'm hoping that he comes back into the team. Um, Obviously he's been suspended ever since we played Nottingham Forest. Since then, he's missed the Newcastle game, which we could miss him. And hold on, there we go. I was about to do the ban a while ago, but MCFR TV beat me to it. Thank you so much, MCFR, for being on guard with that. I do thank you for being Ahmad in the chat as always. But yeah, Rodri, I expect to see him come back into the team. You could say that we missed him against Newcastle, but at the same time, we spoke about how eventually we might be going out of the competition anyway. So I wasn't really pressed with him missing the Newcastle game. Arguably, if he was fit, I probably would say don't start him anyway. So I'm not looking at that too much and saying it's such a bad thing that Rodri didn't play in that particular game. More so against Wolves, I think we very much could have used him. And come on, we all know against Arsenal, massive game. He's very good. He's very much going to be a big miss, regardless of if we win, lose, or draw that game. We would have definitely much preferred to have Rodri at the base of that midfield, but he won't be there. And in that Wolves game, we saw how much we missed him, not just defensively, but going forward as well. So yeah, he's definitely due to be a welcome returnee to the starting lineup against Leipzig. Now, there is a bit of a debate on whether Rodri should start that game or if we should use this game to basically trial how we want to set up against Arsenal on Sunday. But if you actually look at it, I think it's still better to play Rodri now. I know we'll have international break. He'll play for Spain and get minutes in his legs ahead of the Brighton game. But I don't want to see him out of the team for so much as a month, where that Nottingham Forest game was the 23rd of September. That Brighton game that he'll be back from suspension for is on the 21st of October. 1 month out won't do him any good. And playing for Spain doesn't really give that level of preparation that we would have preferred to see, more so than him coming back into the Manchester City team. And we all know, I've said it multiple times before, Pep Guardiola was a defensive midfielder in his days. We know how important this position is to him, and we know how much he loves and values Rodri as a player. He's absolutely amazing, quality player, best defensive midfielder in the world. So, given this opportunity to bring him back into the team, I think that he will take it and put Rodri into the team. And I think he'll probably be paired with Kovacic or maybe even Phillips. Maybe double pivot, two defensive midfielders is the way to go in terms of preparing for a 2-2-2 formation or 4-2-2-2 formation from RB Leipzig. I don't know. I'm just this is just a hypothetical scenario I'm coming up with in my head. But I do expect to see Rodri in the base of that midfield alongside someone who will feature in that Arsenal game as preparation. But yeah, I see MCFR TV said no, no, no. I guess that was for the Phillips thing. It could be any one of them. It could be Rodri and Kovacic. It could be Rodri and Nunez. We've already seen Rodri and Kovacic, and it was amazing. But we've never seen him with alongside Nunez. We've never seen him alongside um, Calvin Phillips as well, as long as he's been here at the club. But yeah, whatever it is, I'm sure that at some point in the game, the players who will feature against Arsenal will get an opportunity to be on the pitch at the same time and get some sort of consistency going on ahead of the Arsenal game. The next player that I'm expecting to see start the game, and I do hope that this player can come in, switch their form around. It's been a pretty rough start to the season for this player. I'm talking about Jack Grealish. I think Jack Grealish is going to start this game. I think he's going to have a massive game. I was looking at the highlights from the RB Leipzig game, and trust me, the confidence he was playing with was very, very evident. And I want to see that level of confidence from him. I also don't want to see us go with what we've been doing before in terms of Doku on one side and Foden on the other side, because that doesn't give us the natural control of games that we usually see from a Pep Guardiola side. He likes to have at least one of those wingers be able to retain the ball really well, and we do not have Bernardo Silva in this particular game. Not to mention, I already spoke about how a different scene in terms of competition can be beneficial towards players who are going through a bit of a difficult time in terms of form. So this might be a good opportunity to start Grealish, maybe not play 90 minutes, but have him start the game, get into a rhythm and build up some form and confidence, maybe get on the score sheet, maybe get himself an assist, and that could spark a good vein of form for Arsenal. Maybe we could be talking about Grealish deserving to start the Arsenal game based on merit. You never know. That's the type of thing I want to see in regards to the team. But I do expect Grealish to start, and I'm backing him to do a good job against RB Leipzig as well. Josko Gvardiol is the next player that I do want to speak about. I do think him returning to his stamping ground is a bit of a big deal. I'm not sure how he'll be received, but I think it will be a better reception than Nunez going back to Wolves. It's not like he was really forcing his way out of Leipzig. I believe he handled the situation very respectfully, and he was a good servant for the club while he was there as well. So I'm expecting a decent reception for him. I think he'll be able to start the game, and I think he'll be very crucial. I want to see him go up against that Openda guy that I mentioned before, because he's very quick. Vardial has a bit of pace about him as well, and he reads the game defensively very, very well. So I would love to see that type of battle and see who can come out on top. I'm backing Jasko, of course, 100% to be the man. But yeah, Josko Gvardiol, Jack Grealish, and Rodri. Those are the three Manchester City players who I'm expecting to turn up for us and be very effective in the game. And in terms of a score prediction, I'm going 2-0 Manchester City. Clean sheet, yeah. I think this is the time now. I think defensively we're going in as monsters. I think the level of control that we'll have from bringing in Rodri into the team and from Grealish coming in as well will help us to keep that clean sheet and limit the amount of chances that Leipzig have. I think with those very quick players and them having a front two as well up top, I think they'll want to prepare themselves to set up on the counter, get the ball really quick out to Simmons, and then he'll play it in for either one of the front two, and they'll basically create for each other as well, very, very quickly on the break. So I think I can see us mitigating them trying to do that, and I can see us getting 2 goals from methodically breaking them down as well. So I've gone with a 2-0 prediction for Manchester City to win away from home and to go into that Arsenal game with them pretty much worried about our farm taking a turn for the better. Let me see what you guys are saying in the comment section here. I really need to star one of these comments so I know exactly where I left off, but Alec Johnson said Chelsea scored. What? What? They already have a goal of the month for October? That's mad. That's mad. But hey, that's my 0-0 prediction out the door. Um, let's see. MJG, window cleaning. Thank you for being here. I haven't seen you in a minute on the stream. Big up. And he says, be good to see Rodri midweek. I think it would be really good. And whoever he plays next to, I think that can definitely give them a bit of a propeller going into the Arsenal game as well. So yeah, we all know Rodri is huge. I don't think there's any City fan who underrates how important Rodri is to the team. So yeah, I'm definitely very happy to see Rodri come in, and I actually would be very surprised to see Rodri not play or start in the game. I know there's been a debate about that, saying leave Rodri out of the team and just bring him back for Brighton and just focus on preparing for Arsenal without him, since that's a big game and we won't have him for that game. And I hear that argument, but I don't agree with it. I think we need to bring Rodri back in. Um. Oh, what? Yo, wait. So how is Cole Palmer playing? If you're still watching the game, let me know how Cole Palmer is playing because 2-0 Chelsea, 2 goals in one game. That's mad. I did not see that coming. Um, let me see what else is here. MCFR says worried for Arsenal. Now this might be a bit of a spoiler for my preview ahead of the Arsenal game, and I am working to get one, maybe two guests on for that preview as well, because I think that's a big conversation. So stay tuned for that. But don't be worried against Arsenal, bro. Don't be. I don't think so. For the games that I've seen them in so far, they kind of turned up against Spurs. That's all NLD, so I kind of understand the fans definitely pushing them for that game as well. But do you really think the Arsenal fans will be positive and very confident playing against Manchester City with or without Rodri? Because if you look at it, previous seasons, I think the last time they got a draw against us at the Emirates was in 2016. It's 2023. It's almost the end of 2023, as a matter of fact. So their record against us is not good. Trust me, it's really not. And we look at previous performances and say it wasn't good. Wolves game, for example, I think that was because of multiple players not having a good performance, and that is not a common thing to happen as well. So, if the general performance from that same team, say that same team was to start against Arsenal, and then the players actually play to their levels or a better representation of their levels, I still don't think we lose against Arsenal. So I don't know. Maybe I should be more worried, but I'm just not. I really do think we have the beating of them. I think we have the beating of them mentally. And I do think that Pep has the beating of Arteta every single day of the week tactically. So whatever, and you know the style of play that they like to have will be at their home ground. They'll be dominating possession and be coming um forward towards us to break us down. And to be honest with you, I haven't really seen Arsenal break down any team this season compoundly. The one game that I can say that they dominated possession and they played really well in was against Everton, and they didn't break down Everton. They scored 1 goal, and yes, it was a brilliant link up and a goal to get that 1-0 win. But yeah, I'm not really worried about Arsenal. I don't even think their start to the season has been that great. Um, Results wise and where they are in the table, yes, good start. But from what I've seen watching them, Crystal Palace game, for example, I thought they made that game way harder than it needed to be, and their only goal was a penalty. Come on, man. But you see, after you watch my preview for the Arsenal game, I expect you to be very confident for that game. Because if not, I would have failed in my job. Alec Johnson says, I can see City going on a winning streak somehow. If you actually look at it, Premier League, let's just talk Premier League right now. If you look at it, we've lost one game. You can count the Newcastle game and say we've lost 2 games since the start of the season, not counting the Community Shield. But even if you count that, in which we know the circumstances behind that as well, riddled with a lot of injuries, and Pep needed and wanted to rest a lot of players. But outside of that, we won 6 games on the bounce. I don't think it's outside of the realm of possibility to predict Manchester City going on a win streak, starting with this Arsenal game. I think we can win that, come back from the international break. Rodri will be back. John Stones will most likely be back. Bernardo Silva will most likely be back. And then we're looking like a much stronger team personnel wise going into the game against Brighton. Then we have young boys away. Yeah, man. I can definitely see us building up a bit of form, and we know what happens in Manchester derbies these days. Eric Ten Hag on fraud watch. I don't think he's gladly receiving us in Old Trafford as well. So yeah, I agree with you. I can definitely see Manchester City going on a win streak very, very soon. 100%. 100%. Um MCFR, let me know who you mean when you say you want him to start against Arsenal. I'm not sure if you mean Kovacic. Let me know what your double pivot would be, actually, because Pep is not going to play Kovacic, Alvarez, Foden as a midfield. He's not going to play Nunez, Alvarez, Foden, or Phillips, Alvarez, Foden. Kovacic, Nunez, Phillips, two of them will start alongside each other in the base of that midfield. So let me know who your double pivot would be consistent of. Alec Johnson says, can't believe we had fans slugging off Grealish last game. He's just got back from injury. And he only played 10 minutes in the game. So I don't know why. I don't know where all this hate is coming from. I think it's the shiny new toy thing people are talking about. If any of you guys were over on that City Extra stream just now, I was there. I saw MCFR TV in the chat as well. And I think it was Johnny from Typical City, and he was saying that he understands City fans nowadays being like displaying traits of being a bit entitled or super confident, and it's because we've been winning a lot of stuff, and it's understandable from a human perspective. But Doku comes in and it's shiny new toy. That's what it is. Like they see him and they're like, oh, we haven't had this before, and it's more exciting than seeing Jack Grealish in the team. So I think that they're just looking for a cop out. Even Rodri, much more exciting to watch than Calvin Phillips. So if that's the alternative, then they're going to turn their head away from that type of alternative, and it's sad. We really should be backing our players, and I don't really see a need to be going against Grealish, and a need to be going against Calvin Phillips either. Of course, if they play bad, criticize them, but I don't even think that they did anything needing any hyper criticism in that particular game. MCFR TV says Mikel Arteta never lost to a team with Jack in it. Interesting. Well, you saw what Pep said earlier today. He said that he is the first manager to be subject to the touchline ban rule from 3 yellow cards. So he's looking at that as a new record for himself. This is another record we can be looking to break this weekend, because Arteta will be losing to a team with Jack in it. Let me knock on wood real quick. But yeah, hopefully that is what happens. And he also says, therefore, a better reception at least. Hopefully, yeah. I do think it will be. I don't think they'll want to be hostile against Vardia. Alec Johnson also says, City break curses. Remember the UCL curse. This is basically what I was trying to say right here. Okay, yeah. Yeah. And he also says Arsenal will lose. I already know your prediction for the Arsenal game will be positive. Ethan says play Calvin Phillips. If you mean against Leipzig, I can definitely see that happening. I can definitely see this happening, because let's be real. I think that pivot would be, I've been even asking for this pivot from last season just to even see how it looks. I think it would be a good way to introduce Phillips into the team, having him literally next to Rodri and kind of feeding off a good Rodri performance to see how he can be a good supporting cast to Rodri. And you never know. You never know, man. I would like to see Phillips start, or at least get some good minutes. I like his cameo in the Wolves game, because even though he's coming on in a precarious position, we were drawing the game at the time. We'd prefer for him to be coming on with us winning, but I like the fact that he got that many minutes, and I like the fact that he didn't look terrible. So it's him coming out with a decent performance in that type of situation is definitely a good thing. And if he does come off the bench against Leipzig, I think that can be a good thing for him as well, to where he's definitely at least accumulating a lot of minutes in the team. Right now, with the lack of starting games, the amount of minutes he's had is terrible, because even off the bench, he hasn't been coming off last season and even this season as well. It's just recently that now he's getting opportunities. So any amount of minutes he's able to get to build up his match fitness, I'm all for it. And the update says Palmer has done nothing, and MCFR TV is not surprised. I really want to see this game, because I heard that he's looking good in the 10, and I know that they have left wing struggles as well. But I'm assuming that it's probably Mudryk starting and Palmer in the 10, or something like Sterling striker, Palmer on the right, and Mudryk on the left, something like that. But I want to see how they're set up. If you can let me know, definitely let me know in the chat as well, because I'm curious about that. 5 people here watching at the moment. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to like the stream. As a matter of fact, let me check how many likes we have on the stream right now before we continue any further. 4 likes. Come on, man. We have 6 people watching right now. We can get more than 4 likes. Come on, man. If you're not enjoying the content, let me know in the comment section why you're not liking the stream. Because as long as you're enjoying, you should be liking the stream. But yeah, man. MCFR says I'm getting him more confident, 100%. And I haven't even gone through the last previous times we've played against Arsenal, because if you look at those games, trust me, look at when time we played them at the Etihad last season, and when we played against them at the Emirates, they didn't have any answers for us. Nothing. Even that one goal that they scored at the Emirates, 3-1, that wasn't even a penalty that Ederson gave away. I think he was unfortunate to concede that penalty, and it was a bit generous for Arsenal to get that consolation goal to make it 1-1. So yeah, I don't think they have any answers for us. And Ethan says, let's hope Arsenal lose tomorrow. I think they're playing Lens, and I don't think it's very likely that they lose that game. It's a Europa League group, let's be real, in terms of quality, of course. And yeah, the players, I heard that rumors, Saka might be injured still, Rice might be injured still. Both of them played in the last game against Bournemouth. So if they're still at full strength, I do expect them to win that game fairly easily. It's going to be like a 3-0, 4-0, something like that. And they'll be hyping, oh, yeah, we're in such good form. Can't wait for City. And then when the game is about to kick off, or you'll probably hear noise from them leading up to the game. And then after the game has kicked off, all of them will go silent and they'll be hiding in their shells and hoping that they get an early goal or something. It's how it always happens. They're always excited until the game starts, because then they start remembering that, yo, we are their bogey team. Let's be real. Um, yeah. Oh gosh, if they do somehow manage to lose, though, we will be there. We will be there. Trust me. Alec Johnson also says, even if City slip up, we'll win the title. I cannot see our players giving our trophy up. Come on. We know how motivated this team gets, and we know how much Pep has to do with that. So 100%, man. He'll definitely get us over the line as well. Um, Curious to see who our title race opponents will be, because Spurs is up there right now. Liverpool is looking really good. Arsenal are very much expected to be there as well. Hey, check back in like December time and we'll see who's still up there with us. This is the double pivot MCFR TV is going with. He says Stones and Nunes. So you expect Stones not only to be back for the Arsenal game, but fit enough to start. Very interesting. Very interesting. Oh, also add the caveat if he's ready. Yeah, it is a bit controversial, because I wouldn't want to throw him back in there just like that. And we all know Stones and his injury situation is a bit questionable at moments. So I'm not sure how confident I feel about throwing him back into the lineup so soon after being out for so long. Um, Alec Johnson shared my sentiments, saying Stone's not ready yet. I wouldn't mind seeing him come off the bench, but start him, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about that. Rosemary Gentle says, hey, Clinical, I totally agree with Alec Johnson. Manchester City will now get back to winning ways. Yep, naturally. I do think that Pep will get it sorted out. I do think that after reviewing their own performances against Wolves, they'll come back much stronger as a team and will get a much better performance starting on Wednesday and then against Arsenal. They know what it means. I doubt we'll see like mounts of mistakes and poor performances like we saw against Wolves. I do think that it's time now. It's time. And it's kind of good, or you can look at it as a bit of a positive, that we got a wake up call against Wolves. And, just imagine if we had won the Wolves game and then lost against Arsenal. I much prefer losing the Wolves game and then using that as a better springboard to go into the Arsenal game with more concentrated. But big up to Rosemary for being here as usual. Alec Johnson said Ederson got slagged off and replied with a treble. And that's what Manchester City do. We're proving all the haters and rival fans wrong. And I absolutely love to see it. Ethan dropping his lineup says play 4-3-3. Ederson. Um Ake, Vardial, Diaz, Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips, Foden, Jack Grealish, Doku, Haaland, Alvarez. If you mean for the Leipzig game, then I'll say Ederson. Yeah, I can see that. I don't think Ake will start. I think Vardial and Diaz will. And then I think Walker will definitely be there as a captain. And I think Akanji might play. Let's be real. I cannot predict Pep to drop Akanji because he never does. So if it's between Aki and Akanji playing, I think he'll give Akanji the nod. And I don't think Rico Lewis will start over Kyle Walker. Phillips, Foden, Grealish. I doubt this will be the game that we see Grealish in the midfield, but I do think that he'll start. I think, man, it's so hard to I don't like giving predicted lineups, man. Pep always makes my head hurt because trust me, it's 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 so tough to try to predict what Pep wants to do with a lineup. But I definitely hear your lineup, and I will be giving you your full props if you get the lineup or the score prediction right, Ethan. Oh, and I saw your post earlier about someone that account you wanted reported. If you guys haven't seen it, check his Instagram story or his YouTube account. There is someone impersonating him on Instagram. Really weird. They have his picture up as well. I reported the channel for you. Definitely, guys, if you haven't already, report the channel for him. MCFR TV says he meant the other way around. Arteta has never won against a Jack Grealish team. Then you see, that's even more reason to be confident then, because trust me, if not, I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to like this Leipzig game is a perfect opportunity for him to get himself back into consideration for starting. Because right now, let's be real, Doku is ahead of him on merit. But this is the opportunity now. I think we'll have Grealish on one side and Doku on the right. Foden in the midfield next to whatever pivot will start. And that's what I'm expecting to see. So this is a prime opportunity now for Grealish to get himself in that consideration. Manchester City says, I'm going for a City win on Wednesday. Let me know what your score prediction is down below. Mine is 2-0 to Manchester City. Alec Johnson says, our start is better than last season. And in fact, it's the third time in our history that we've ever started this well. Second time under Pep Guardiola. And we won a treble last season, not starting nearly as good as this. So, trust me. I do think that we're getting that league this season. I don't know about anything else. I want the double, but the league, at least, I'm sure that we're getting that league. MCFR says, do you have any tips for streams? In my spare time, what I like to do is there are a lot of people on YouTube who create videos on how to make your small channel more successful. I watch a lot of those. They speak about like thumbnails and stuff like that, like changing up how you approach your thumbnails and basically a lot of other stuff. I haven't seen one of them in a while, so I don't remember a lot of what they were saying in terms of tips, but definitely check those out because there's a lot of useful information in there and stuff that you are not doing. I might give you some ideas. I need to check one of those out soon because things have slowed down, but you guys are here chatting with me, so it's not too bad. Manchester City says Haaland to bag a hat trick on Wednesday. You know what? I hear you, but I'm not saying that again because the last time I said that it would happen against Wolves, we lost. So I'm going to let him score the hat trick first, and then I'll celebrate it, and then I'll think about starting to talk about Haaland hat tricks again. A matter of fact, no, yeah, no, yeah. Let me leave it at that. Let me leave it at that. Alec Johnson says Stones is a rock. I think we've missed him so much this season. And it's going to feel like a new signing when he comes back because if you just think back to last season and how good he was last season, sauce. Absolute sauce. So I can't wait to see John Stones come back into the team as well. Blue Shark says City will get back into winning ways on Wednesday. I 100% believe it. And we just have to believe in the team and back them all the way. I'm sure this will be the start of something big. We can close out not close out the month, but go into the international break on a good note against Arsenal as well. But this against Leipzig on Wednesday is the first step to that. Alec Johnson says not even COVID could stop Manchester City winning the title 100%. We're an absolutely different beast, and I love it. Ethan says, rest Walker. I hear you. And even if Walker is rested, I think we'll see Ake step into the back line and Akanji play right back. I think we'll probably see, or, actually, in a case that Walker is rested, I could see him go for Rico Lewis because he's been playing well. I can't lie. The Newcastle game, bit iffy for him, but outside of that, if you look at just that in isolation, he's been playing well when he does play. So, yeah, I could see that happening. But for this particular game, I personally think that Walker will start. The city is blue. Big up to you. Facts in your name. I don't remember seeing your name here before, but thank you for being here so much. And he says, losing one game is no big deal. City will make up for it on Wednesday with a victory. Big facts right here from the City is blue. MCFR TV says, got a hop now, got a stream in 10. Absolute brilliant discussion. Big up everyone. Stay safe. And if you don't have anything planned after this stream, definitely head over to MCFR TV, show him some support, and let him know in the comments that Clinical sent you. I'll be over there as well, so I'll definitely come say hello to me as well, and we'll have a good little chat. Alec Johnson says, even if we slip against Arsenal, we'll still win the league. I do believe that as well, but it plays into your mind. And I do think he'll do us I don't think it really do a lot of good for us if we don't win this game because, like I said, we have a really good record against Arsenal, and if we draw or lose this game, that reverse fixture at the Etihad, they'll come into that with a lot of confidence, and I want them to be as defeated as possible whenever they come up against us. So I think we need to show them who's really big bro in this game on Sunday, and then they'll know themselves when they come to the Etihad that they're just here to give the 3 points and then go back to London. Yeah, season is very long. Wait till KDB is back when the serious stuff starts. Hey, this is really what will be new signing. This is what I'm anticipating the most. Even after he got injured in the Champions League final, and then he came back against Burnley, and he was cooking immediately before he came off. I was looking at that and I was saying I didn't expect him to hit the ground this good. I thought he'd be easing himself back into the performance. Not only that, but I expected Pep to ease him into the team as well. But come into the team, knock the ball around a little bit, kind of build a momentum up. No, KDB was on smoke instantly, and he wanted to create chances immediately. So that was really good to see from him. And when he's back, when Stones is back, when Bernardo Silva is fully fit, because I don't think he was fully fit when he came back the last time. When these three players come back into the team, my Jesus, yo, the team will be looking so much more scary. We're good now, but when these big guns come back, different Manchester City team. And the Blue Shark here saying, you can overrest players, in my opinion. I find playing regular football is better than training. You keep up to match speed playing actual games. And you know what actually goes with what you're saying? If you look at the December period of the season, that's usually when we're in our best vein of form. Other teams are struggling with the constant back-to-back fixtures, but Manchester City usually tend to strive in these type of moments. So I think the players like bouncing out of a good performance, going into the next game very confident as well. And there aren't any teams that really come against us and feel very confident aside from Liverpool back in the day. But even up to now, like, I don't think now if we play Liverpool, they'll be feeling very confident that yeah, they're definitely getting a win against us. So it was very good being the favorites going into those games from both teams' perspective and being in good form after winning games, bouncing into the next game, getting a result, bouncing into the next game. So the back-to-back games, I think we really do thrive from that as a team. And I think a lot of players spoke about liking that scenario as well. So I do agree with you there, Blue Shark. And Alec Johnson says, Phillips, will he play? If you mean against Leipzig, this is the $1 million question. I think it's easier to say no, he won't play against Arsenal, but against Leipzig, if he does play, say he starts with next to Rodri, right? Say the midfield is Phillips, Rodri, Foden, and Phillips has a good game. He's, in fairness, in conversation to start against Arsenal. in fairness, in merit, and I do like to reward players who play well with additional game time because I like being fair. So based on that, if he does play well, he should get an opportunity to show himself again. But he has to start against Leipzig and really pull up some trees to get the opportunity. Will he? I can see Pep going with Rodri Kovacic before he goes with Rodri Phillips. But hey, whenever I got in a prep lineup right, so I'm sorry I can't answer that question for you, Alec. Rosemary says, clinical, the unbeaten record against Arsenal will continue. Just believe. I'll go one up on that, Rose, and I'll say the win streak against Arsenal will continue. So since 2017 to now, it's been wins, and I'm talking league games. I'm not talking Community Shield and them type of thing there. That's still part of the preseason. But league games, it's just been win home and away against them. Excuse me, I think it's 15 or 16 games in a row that we've beaten Arsenal in the league. I don't expect that to stop this Sunday. That's all I'll say about that. And Alec Johnson says, here's a mind bender. Phillips or Harry, Hot Point Maguire. I am taking Calvin Phillips every minute, second, hour of the day, week, month, year over Harry Maguire. I would never want to see Harry Maguire start in this team. And I think he is much more of a liability than Calvin Phillips. Trust me. You're really picking the better of a bad bunch right there because I don't think Phillips has been good since he's come to Manchester City. But surely he's been better than Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire scores own goals for fun. So no, that's not even a question for me. I'd prefer stick with what we have than swap him for Harry Maguire. Definitely not doing that. And sorry, Rosemary, but I do agree with Alec Johnson here. I much prefer the Blue Hearts than the red ones. I don't even like putting red on the thumbnails or in the background for the stream. I was going the only background I have with red in it is for rival shot when I have rival fans from the big six coming on for a discussion. I put the red in the background because that's ups. So yeah. Alec Johnson says Guardiola barely blanks trophies, and I don't think this is the season to start. We're already out of the Carabao Cup. I can see us winning the Club World Cup. I can see us winning the Prem, and we are in a good position to retain the Champions League. So hopefully that does happen. Alec Johnson says, hope ref or VAR doesn't ruin the Arsenal versus City game. We saw poor refereeing decisions against Wolves, and we saw terrible, atrocious decisions Spurs v Liverpool. So I don't think they make another big blunder like that immediately after. So that's a bit of a good sign. There's no way that they make something on that level the next game week. Like that would be absolutely mad. But yeah, hopefully that they're more focused and more patterned in terms of officiating the games this upcoming weekend. But yeah, it's poor, man. And Alec Johnson here again says Guardiola's record is mind blowing and he's only 52. I think he's won something like 30 something trophies. Absolutely mad. Best coach of all time, best manager of all time, in my opinion, if you ask me. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a Manchester City supporter. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. We spoke about Leipzig, we spoke about City. I gave you guys my score prediction 2-0 Manchester City, clean sheet, 2 goals. Erling Haaland, I do want him to get on the score sheet. I do think that him getting a goal ahead of the Arsenal game would be really good. And I do think that is something that they can take, what do you call it, confidence from if Haaland hasn't scored in a numerous amount of games. That's not the type of stat I want them to be looking at ahead of us going to the Emirates Stadium. So, yeah, 2-0 Manchester City. Manchester City to turn up with a dominating performance, snuffing out anything RB Leipzig can come at us with, and us to go home and prepare for Arsenal immediately after. Um, Thursday will be the review for the Leipzig game because we don't play on Thursdays. That's a Liverpool thing. We don't do Thursday football, so we'll be here around the same time for a breakdown of what we saw in the whole Champions League midweek. Obviously, mainly focusing our game, but we'll talk a little bit about PSG, Newcastle, and I think I think there are a couple other interesting fixtures in there as well. So we'll get back on Thursday and break that down. And then following that on Friday, we'll talk the preview against Arsenal. And I do want to get one, maybe two guests on, at least one Arsenal fan on, and I might have another City fan here as well, so we can have a good group panel discussion and speak about what we expect to see come through in the game on Friday. Rosemary says, Alec Johnson, my red heart says danger to all opponents. I like that. I like that. That's a good spin. I like that. And Alec Johnson says, got you. Yeah, 100%. Keep doing what you guys doing, representing the Blues. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I hope to see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to continue to like the stream and subscribe to the channel as well. We gained a subscriber in this stream. That's really good. We gained 2 subscribers in the stream actually. Big up to everyone who subscribed in the stream today. And we did get 2 new names that we haven't seen here before. Hope to see you guys come through more frequently in the future as well. And also the recurring viewers like Alec Johnson and Rosemary who are still here. I hope that you guys come through as well in future streams. Continue to like as we go out, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Oh, hold on. Alec Johnson here with a buzzer beater comment saying, anyone see Big Steve smoke that Hussam on Football Terrace? So that happened like 4 days ago. I just watched this last night and it was so hilarious. And if you look at the comments, it's just a whole lot of gas from, what you call it, salty rivals saying Hussam won the debate. Won which debate? There was one point where Big Steve said, there's like he's talking about corruption. We didn't do anything corrupt, and Hussam was like, oh, but we did. It's illegal. It's not illegal, but it's corrupt. And then Big Steve said, so if how is it corrupt if it's not illegal? And when Hussam was just frozen, like doesn't know what to say. Like, come on, man. I don't know. I don't enjoy that Hussam guy's content. He seems very hateful. I don't know why. Like, just be fair when you're talking about rival teams, but he seems very hateful towards Manchester City, even more than Man U. And you would think that Liverpool Man U is the bigger rivalry, but yeah, that whole Sam guy seems like a real waffler to me, if you ask me still. But again, like I said, what do I know? Rosemary says, blessings, Alec Johnson. Alec, in return, says, thank you, Rosemary. And to close off, Alec Johnson says, best argument ever. Big Steve smoked him in a split. Hussam jealous. Hey, the best version of Liverpool that he got to see was ruined by Manchester City. So I get it, but hey, it just comes off as salty and poor from him. Yeah, we'll leave it on that. Until next time, my side. Good stream again today. I enjoyed it. And if you are watching on the replay, let me know in the comment section your score prediction. Let me know what you expect from this game against Leipzig. And I'll see you guys again on the review on Thursday. Peace.